On the mist-shrouded shores of Greywater Bay, where the water was smooth as polished slate and the sky hung low and heavy, lived an old man known as the Stone-Skipper. He was a man of silence and solitude, his voice a low, weathered rumble, like stones tumbling in the deep. His hands were mapped with lines of age and salt, and his pockets were always heavy with smooth, flat stones from the beach. Every day as the tide sighed out, he would walk to the water's edge. Children would sometimes linger at a distance watching the ritual. He would select a stone, feel its weight, and then send it flying across the glassy surface with a deft flick of his wrist. But he did not skip them for the number of bounces. He would hold a stone to his ear first, his eyes closed. The villagers whispered that he could hear the stone's story, the memory of the mountain it once was, the river that had polished it. His voice would then roll out over the still water, a quiet narration for the stone alone. He held up a dark gray stone veined with white. "This one," he murmured, his voice barely louder than the lap of the wavelets. "This one is for the argument between two brothers on this very shore. It was born of anger, but it ended in laughter. Let it go." He skipped the stone. It bounced 7 times, each tap a clean, sharp note on the water's skin, before vanishing with a soft plip. The air where the argument had happened seemed to lighten. He chose another, a piece of reddish sandstone. He held it for a long time. "Ah," his deep voice softened, becoming a gentle, resonant hum. "A first kiss, behind the old boathouse. A summer night, full of fireflies and courage." A faint, sad smile touched his lips. She moved to the city. He still thinks of her every time he smells rain on dry earth. He sent the stone skipping. It danced across the bay, not with sharp taps, but with soft, lingering kisses against the surface, the ripples spreading out like a lingering memory, before it slid silently into the deep. A young woman approached him one evening, her eyes red-rimmed. She held out a perfectly flat black stone. She didn't speak. The stone skipper took it. He held it to his ear, his eyes closing. A long minute passed. The mist curled around them. "This grief is heavy," he said, his voice a low, compassionate thrum that seemed to hold her up. "It feels like it will sink straight to the bottom and never move again." The young woman nodded, a tear tracing a path down her cheek. "But watch," he said. He drew his arm back and skipped the stone with a powerful, graceful motion. Instead of sinking, the black stone skimmed the surface. Once, twice, 3 times, 6 times. It fought its weight, defiantly gliding on the tension between air and water, leaving a perfect expanding set of rings behind it. Before its energy was spent and it surrendered to the depths, the two of them watched the ripples travel all the way to the far shore. The weight remains, the old man said, his deep voice quieter now. It always will, but see? It can still travel. It can still make its mark upon the world, and the water always remembers the shape of its passing. The young woman watched the last ripple disappear. She took a deep, shuddering breath, nodded her thanks, and walked back towards the village, a little straighter than before. The Stone-Skipper turned back to the bay. The mist was thickening, blending the water and the sky into one endless gray. He pulled another stone from his pocket, its story already whispering to him, ready to be released.